So in this setup, I'm going to walk you through the exact home improvements lead form setup that I would use to generate home improvement leads, including objective, targeting and placements, and how to build a proper lead form that converts. No overcomplicating, no over targeting, this is exactly what will work. So once you come into the setup, as you'll see here, initially you'll find this in the first page, but this is the same options you'll get in the first page. So set up an auction, always set up an auction for a simple campaign. So here we choose leads. We want to do this because we want Meta to actually optimize for inquiries, not just for clicks or follows or likes or nothing like that. You want to be getting your client booked in jobs, sales, all that sort of stuff. If they're trying to generate work, etc., they do not want follows, likes. It's a complete vanity metric. You want to be choosing leads. That's what you want to be choosing. So here you choose leads. So here you want to be choosing ad set budget. This is so important, like really important. So if you're doing it in a campaign budget, it's going to automatically choose where the budget's going. So you could have creatives running, you might be testing out creatives and you don't know what the budget's going to be put on. So if you put it in the ad set level and then you designate the budget in the ad set level, you can say designate £10, £10, £10, £20, £20, £20, whatever the budget's going to be. You can specifically designate the budget into each section and you can test them out. So you know you can test with structure and you're not going to just be hoping Meta puts the budget in the right position. This is especially important when you're running to one core audience. You need to keep it at ad set level. So once you do this is for home improvement, so obviously you don't need to go into the special ad categories, all that sort of stuff. Make sure, I would just unclick that because you're going to designate where you want your ad spend anyway. So if you want £10, £10, £10, etc., as I said, you're going to be able to have the choice to do that. So go on to next. From here, you're going to choose instant forms for this situation. This is how to set up a Meta ads campaign for instant forms for a home improvements business. So obviously you've got the options here. You can go website if you're taking it a landing page. You can go into instant forms. I really don't like taking it Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, etc. Because the quality of lead is so bad, like really bad. You'll just get such bad quality. Instant forms, if you put in qualifying questions, etc., it can be not bad. But what I do for the majority of my clients is take it on a landing page. But for this video, we're taking it to a form. So you would go in here, you would select your page. I'm not going to go in there because I've got all my clients in there. Select page. And then if you have to, make sure you agree the terms of Facebook. So here, maximise leads, maximise number of conversion leads. Personally, I like to do maximise conversion leads. So click in there. Don't need any of that. So we'll go down here. I like to turn dynamic creative off. I like to do a lot more manual stuff and to sort of do my creatives in their own way. So turn dynamic creative off. Then obviously when you get to this point, this is totally dependent on what your client is willing to spend. I would say to all my clients, minimum £30 a day. That's a minimum to work with me. You need to have a minimum of £30 a day. So if you go in here, all you would do is daily budget, £30. Once it comes into here, it's obviously your start date and time. It'll always just say if you've previously done it, reset to start date. Once you do that, it'll take you to the exact start date. As you can see here, I'm filming this at 1:30 in the morning, so yeah. Next comes into audience. So I like to have Advantage Plus audience on, but I do have some parameters. So this is totally dependent on where your client is based, how far they can cover, all them sort of things. It's totally dependent on a client or your business or whatever that is, how far you're willing to travel. For instance, if I click on this here, you can see the parameters. So this will go out to Kilmarnock, Greenock, Stirling, etc. But if you lower it, say to 18 kilometres, you're targeting a lot smaller audience. I know some people want to just stay within, but your ad's just going to tire out so much quicker, but the frequency level is going to go through the roof because it's got such a small pool to target. So if I was here, you can see Airdrie, Motherwell, Hamilton, Johnston, all these sort of places. If you're watching this from out with Glasgow, you can obviously see it's an 18 kilometre radius. But It's totally dependent on the business. If you're running it for yourself, then obviously you'll be able to decide. I wouldn't necessarily put it too big. You can if you want, but if you're a local business, you're not probably going to do it. But as you can see there, you can completely alter it. A lot of my clients are like a 30 km radius, which gives them a good radius, gives them a good amount of people to go out and see the ad. But you definitely don't want to make it too small, that's the thing, because you're just going to tire your ad out so quick. Make sure you untick this box. So if you pick the 30 km radius, but you still have this ticked, it's going to go to a lot of people out with the radius. It can be people in Wales, Northern Ireland, like other countries completely like so far away, down south, London, all that sort of stuff. It's just going to send it to people who they think will convert with your ad. You're just going to get people that aren't going to be of any use to you because you're sending this out and they could be in London. You don't go to London, you cover Glasgow for instance. So it's literally the other end of the UK. So make sure whatever you do is you untick this box. It's essential, one of the most essential tips on this. So my suggested audiences, I like to start mine at 28 to 65 because if you're starting at 18, depending on what you're doing, is it really going to be much use to you for doing home improvements? I very highly doubt it. So I like to start mine at 28 to 65 plus. I like to keep my interest broad. So what I'll do is I'll keep it to kitchens and bathrooms because for this example, it's going to be kitchens. And then I would do home improvements. That's the only two interests I would have. Bear in mind, this will help the algorithm find your clients, your ideal clients, with having Advantage Plus on, etc. So don't worry about over interests or adding in too much interest or all that sort of stuff. It's just going to give you such a smaller pool and you're just going to potentially over target. These days, it can always find your ideal client. If you have the correct things in place, your creative's right, your ad copy's right, it's going to find exactly who you're looking for. And if you've got a good creative. Here, you go into placements. So what I would do in placements is I would go into audience network, turn that off, and I would only keep it in Instagram and Facebook. You want to have your ad spend in the correct places. When you're not having it in anything else, it's just a complete waste of money. If you have like Messenger clicked, you've got Threads clicked, you've got Audience Network clicked, it's a complete waste of ad spend. Like, you want to only have them in Facebook and Instagram. I cannot stress that enough. Do not waste your ad spend on Threads. It's not going to work. So once you do that, that's us done that section. So once you come into this part, you choose your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and then this is where you would plug in your ad creative, etc. So you would click single image or video, multi-advertiser ads, totally up to yourself. If you tick multi-advertiser ads, it's going to lower your CPM, but it's totally dependent on the business. Sometimes I click it, sometimes I don't. I do test it out sometimes with two ad creatives at the start and see how it gets on, check my metrics and see that, but initially I would advise to maybe tick multi-advertiser ads. So once you come into here, this is where you create your form. So this is the main part of it, and this is where you would plug in your ad creative. So all you would do is you go in, click video ad, you would choose your creative. If you need to upload it or if it's already on your profile, it will show, but if you need to upload it, it's a simple process. All you would do is you would go in here, video ad, and you would click upload. From there, you would trim it, crop it, and do the text on it, etc. Today, I'm not really going to be going into ad copy too much. It's more just how I would set up a campaign. Down here, you've got you can set up CRM events, website events, app events. This isn't necessarily too important for when you are doing just a simple leads generation campaign, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much, unless you have CRM systems, etc., that you could set it up to, but there is other ways of doing that through your Pixel, etc. Once you get to this part here, for your form, what I would do is this. So in here, higher intent form. You'll see the first page of the form here, but we'll get into this. So what I would do always, once you're setting up your form, so your headline here is going to be the one at the top. So get your dream kitchen for it. This is just an example here. Get your dream kitchen with your offer. So say if you're going to be doing like a percentage off or anything like that. So it could be like get your dream kitchen for 30% off, book now before the sale ends. That you just want to create a bit of scarcity, you want to show your offer and actually entice people in to filling out the form and getting in touch with you. Then it'll come to here. So this is just an example that you can potentially take for your business or for one of your clients. So potentially better to read it here. So at company name, so obviously you put your company name in there. We design and install fully tailored kitchens built around your space, your needs and your style. So you're speaking to the client here, they're like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. You want to talk them through the process and tell exactly what you offer, what sets you apart, etc. on your form, so they go into the next page and fill it out and get in touch with you. So this is something that I've found, like, this is just a tip that I've found with doing kitchens, bathrooms, etc. You sometimes get people who want only a shower changed or they want a sink changed. When you're doing like a full install, I would highly advise to specify that, for example here within kitchens, we do not offer worktops, appliances or small upgrades only. We provide complete kitchen design and full installations only. Because as I said, sometimes you will get clients or leads, customers, whatever you want to call them, they'll fill it out and they'll just be looking for a sink to be changed or something. You do not want that at all. Like, you do not want that. So if you're only offering a full installation, you're getting people phoning you up about changing a sink. What is the point? So here at the bottom, I would include some selling points, a bit of social proof. So 5-star rated by 1,000 plus people, etc. Stuff like that. It doesn't matter how low your social proof is. If you can include some social proof, it's definitely going to help you. If you've got accreditations, you could potentially add it in at the bottom. So, for example, if you are a plumbing, gas, heating engineer, you've got Gas Safe. For example, if you are an electrician, you've got NIC, EIC. So that's just approved contractors, or you could have like Which Trusted Trader. So that's just different accreditations. There's so many different ones, like for waste management, SEPA approved, all that sort of stuff. You could include that at the bottom to make yourself stand out and show you could actually be trusted. So that is how I would do that first page. You can see here. That is how I would set up the page. Questions. So this is a bit where you need to be careful here, because you do not want to overqualify, but you also don't want to just get people filling out their details. You want to find out what they're interested in. So, for example, if it was like electrical, you would want to find out what service they're interested in. If it was for, say, general home improvements company that do bathrooms, kitchens, windows and doors, you would say, what service are you interested in? Because you could be running different ads and you don't know what they're going to be coming in from. Like, you need to specify stuff like that, especially if you're running a general campaign for, like, say, an electrician, lighting, sockets, all that sort of stuff. Before, you want to find out information before you go on a call with them. Like, that's essential. So here, as I'll show you, you click in like full name, phone number, postcode and email. And I would also say, please enter your contact details below and a member of our team will be in touch ASAP. So here it is where you can add in a question. So what I would probably advise is multiple choice. Just helps people out a lot more. If they need to start typing, you're just adding in more friction. So if possible, multiple choice will definitely help you. Some things, this is something that you could test out. You can say if you've got like 2 ads running, you can test out different forms against each other. One, you can test out a general form and see how the quality of leads are. Or you could add in questions like, if it was kitchens here, I would probably add in, how much are you willing to invest in your new dream kitchen? Sometimes can throw people off, that's what I would say. But at the same time, you don't want to be constantly on the phone to people who only want to spend £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 when your kitchen started at 10 plus. So that can be a necessary step to weed out some people, which I would advise probably to do. So all you would go in here is you would go into multiple choice and you would type in how much are you willing to invest in your kitchen, in your dream kitchen. You would just type that in here, and then you could have like 7 to 10,000, 10 to 13,000, 13 to 18,000, 18 to 25,000, 25,000 plus, and then they could pick that, and then you can actually see what they're interested in. Potentially, I would never go more than two qualifying questions in a lead form, because nobody's going to fill it out. You don't want to add too much friction. That's the essential step here. So what I would advise is maximum 2 qualifying questions on the lead form. Potential could be, what is the biggest issue you're currently facing in your kitchen? Bad layout, poor design, poor installation quality, looking tired and outdated, want it more luxurious, stuff like that, that's potentially a question you could add in along with the budget one, but you need to word the budget one correctly. You can't say how much you're willing to spend. It's like the keywords that you can switch about make such a big detail. If you write how much are you willing to invest in your new kitchen, then it can, small words you won't think it, but it can massively affect it. So here you can pick go to website, view file, call business. What I would do is, if you do have a website, go to website. You could potentially also add in to call the business for when they fill it out, or you could add in here. Or you could add in here at view file, like a PDF or a brochure or something like that the client can look at for kitchens. It can be like all the options of the kitchens you have and all that sort of stuff that will already inform them by the time you're coming out or the time they're coming in your showroom, can help massively. From there, create form, and then that is you done. So this was just a quick video on how I would set up a lead form campaign on Meta Ads for a home improvements business. This is universal for like every single one. All you would have to do is change like your creatives, obviously, your ad copy, and your potential interest. If you've got like kitchens and bathrooms, you could remove them as well. Sometimes I'll just run an ad campaign with general home improvements as the interest. But that's all you would have to do, and also obviously alter the form. So just quick steps to take away from this. Choose leads objectives, this trains for inquiries. Auction buying keeps the pricing efficient. Ad set budgets give testing control. Broad targeting improves optimization. By using a small amount of interest, it allows you to add intent without restriction. So you're not going to lower your audience, but it's still going to be able to find the correct people. You've got advantage plus audience on. It's going to find the correct people. If you've got one interest in, say, home improvements, it's going to work. No threads, no audience network, no messenger, only Facebook and Instagram for your placements on your Meta ad campaign setup. A low friction form improves your submission rate, but you also need to include the correct qualifying questions on that also. If you don't do that, you're going to get the biggest bunch of garbage ever, and this is why people say Meta ads don't work. Even though I've generated a client £50,000 in 30 days, just took on another one, helped them go from 0 to 10k within the first 30 days. Other clients doing 80k a month, etc. I know these work. Like I wouldn't sit here and lie, and I wouldn't make money if they didn't work. So Meta ads do work. You just need to build them correctly and qualify leads correctly also. But the most important thing when doing Meta ads is ensuring that at some point you are qualifying the leads. Hence why I said include a couple of qualifying questions in, 2 max, into your lead form, because you can have the biggest load of garbage fill it out ever. People want a bathroom for $2,000, people want a kitchen for $3,000 when you start at 10. It's out with your budget, it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of time for them filling it out. Leads are a complete vanity metric. Like, if they're not a qualified lead, then what is the point? There is no point in it. If they're not working within your company's budget range, there is absolutely no point in it. Just make sure you word your qualifying questions correctly. That is the end of this video. If anyone's got any questions, hit me up on Instagram, NickyJRocks. You'll find me over there. It's probably the best point for you to contact me. If anyone's interested in working with my agency in our socials, then just give us a message either on my personal page or my business page at NR Socials. But if you like this, let me know. Hit subscribe, hit like, massively helps us out. And if there's any other ideas that you want me to do, I'd be more than happy to help. Something I enjoy doing is making content, and I just enjoy helping people as well. So if there's any other ideas, leave them in the comments below. I'm out. Catch you.